You have to think about your audience from the beginning. Like, who are you building for?
I mean, every single time I had an idea, a lot of the times it died in my head.
We actually increased revenue just by changing a bit, how we structure the pricing.
Sometimes I'm happy with not necessarily the best judgment, as long as it's my judgment.
You have to be consistent. You have to stick to the plan, kind of.
You can't really progress much. You can't move ahead too fast without making a lot of mistakes.
I'd recommend people focus on solving problems that they are intimately familiar with.
Because you have a bunch of good services out there, but when something breaks, you cannot find anyone.
Like for me, Planable was kind of like my child, my baby, that I've been raising for 10 years.
I'm super against trends. As you said, you have to integrate them, but infuse them in a smart and actually meaningful way.
Knowledge is becoming more of a commodity right now.
I want genuine connection with people and then talk about AI and what they think about it.
You have to have someone more like business oriented in the team.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another episode of VUnstaged, the After Hours edition with a very special guest today, somebody I'm meeting for the first time and I've been waiting for quite a while to meet. Without too much further ado, I'll give it back to you. And I ask this everyone, if you can tell us your name, for those who don't know, what do you do for a living? And of course, I ask this everyone, how did you get into tech? Because you, of all people, have a very interesting story, I would suppose.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Nicolae. I'm founder and CTO of Planable, the company that's been acquired recently. So what do I do? How did I get in tech? I studied at the Technical University in Moldova, about 10 years ago. I graduated, and how did I get in tech in general? My parents bought me a computer while I was
Everybody's fucking starting with computers.
It was cool back then to
it was like you were the premium guy. Everybody else was wasting their time in the phones. You still remember the time when we were playing games on the phone?
No, I was playing games at the internet cafe.
Oh yeah. No, those were epic.
Before that.
Those were epic times.
So everyone was going to the internet cafe, and then finally my parents bought me a computer. And then I was spending a lot of time at the computer at home. And basically, my parents and myself, I was like, okay, I seem to like computers. I like to, work at the computer and stuff like that. And might as well go into IT, right? So
you knew right from high school, was it?
It was in high school or when I was in school back then, and then kind of this inspired me to take this career in IT. And I wasn't particularly good at informatics or maths.
Nobody is. If you take my story is I didn't even finish at high school we had real and humanistic.
Yeah.
I finished humanistic profile, and then I figured out, I actually fucking want to do this.
Yeah. So it was weird. I haven't one day. I actually, at school I liked geography, history, stuff like that. Not informatics related, but I spent a lot of time with computer and stuff, and then I kind of took this career and applied for technical university.
How did you start? Was it web, PHP?
Not really. I think so. At the university, I was doing mostly Python and stuff.
Python.
Or C++.
You went into hippies right away.
Yeah, but then I took this internship at the marketing agency when I was in the university, and then I started doing websites, apps, web apps, and basically that's how I got into JavaScript and
What about BEST? Do you know anything about BEST?
Yeah, I was in BEST. Yeah, in my university, at some point I started joining this student organizations. To network, to create some connections outside of the university. So I joined BEST. I joined ISEC. It's another student organization. So I was trying to be really active back then. This is a good experience. I still have friends from there.
I think that's how I remember you, to be honest. I'm not exactly sure which hackathon they organized.
Yeah.
But I'm not exactly sure. Was it Garage 48 or some other
Yeah.
organization which organized the hackathon? And that's how I know, because I remember you pitching your idea when Planable was just an idea.
Yeah.
I remember the pitch. I remember you guys. I think it was you and some other team who were doing like some kind of Yelp type of app,
Yeah.
something with food related.
Yeah, there
And
were
then
many great ideas. It
yeah,
was 10 years ago, like almost exactly like 10 years
yeah.
ago.
I definitely remember you because I participated at the event, but I wasn't really at the time. I was trying to like figure out what the fuck am I doing? Because when you're a student, you're kind of lost. You don't know what you're doing, what's wrong with your life. You want to try
Yeah.
design, you want to try coding and whatnot. So that's how I remember you actually. Yeah.
Yeah, I was actually back then. I was passionate about like hackathons and startups, and I was going to like different events like Startup Weekend, and yeah, that's where I pitched Planable, like the company that I'm still working at, and yeah, that's how it all started. This whole journey.
Yeah, so I think I read an article. Was it from like Xenia? Oh, we'll dive into who Xenia is. But before that, like I knew a little bit about your story. But can you, like, for anyone who doesn't know, can you tell the story of the three guys who decided to do something which now has been acquired and is very successful?
So I used to work in the marketing agency, like while I was in my student years, was an internship. And then that's how I was exposed to this like digital marketing, world. Is where like, especially back then, like 10 years ago, social media was getting popular. Like having your brand visible online, like on Facebook, Instagram, and all the social networks was becoming a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So and a lot of brands that wanted to promote themselves on social media, they usually worked with a marketing agency because they didn't have the talent to do this work themselves. So they worked with marketing agencies, like I was working in a marketing agency. Um so there was a lot of work to be done for promoting your brand on social networks
Yeah, yeah.
like Facebook, Instagram. You have to plan your content, to have a strategy, to publish everything, on time. You had to have this consistent, schedule and stuff like that. And that's where we understood that this process is tedious, and you also have to approve all the content of your clients. If you're an agency, you have this all like clients, big brands, and then you have to approve everything, because if something wrong gets published, then the brand is suffering.
Yeah.
So everything has to be approved, and everything has to be automated, so to save time. And we saw this opportunity to create something, to make this process more efficient. And that's how basically the idea of Planable was born back then. And
I would say it's even more relevant nowadays because
yeah,
you have more platforms. You have even like the algorithms, I believe, changed a little bit, and
yeah,
they're more aggressive. Like they want you to constantly
yeah,
publish, constantly like spam videos.
yeah. Nowadays even more, like it's more critical basically to be online, to be present, to be visible in social media. And we basically, Planable helps you be efficient. If you're an agency, marketing agency, or you have an in-house marketing team, um, we provide a platform for you to, like, the tools basically for you to be successful and efficient with your campaigns, online campaigns. Yeah.
Yeah. So was it like, how did you start? Was it like a Moldova type of jump ship, and then you went to Romania and then another country? Like how was?
Yeah.
I'm very curious about like at what point you said, I have the certainty to build something, and there's a team around me who believes in the same vision. Because it takes a lot of mental strength to like go from ideas to execution. Like how much do ideas cost nowadays, and how important are ideas as opposed to like actual fucking mental toughness and execution?
Well, I would say it's less about ideas and more about execution.
Yeah.
Back then, we had like many great ideas, and we just didn't follow on them. Like we didn't uh, go through, and it just takes a lot of grit, to build a company, to build something. You have to have this consistency, and you have to kind of push against all the odds. So everything is stacked against you. All the odds are against you when you start a company or you want to do an online business, especially when you start like from Moldova. You don't have the connections. You don't like it's harder to find investors. And for us, it was quite a journey. So we started here in Moldova to start a book and event, where I pitched the Planable idea, and then a surprise, we were invited to an accelerator in Romania, and then we kind of with the team that we formed. We've moved for a couple of months in Romania. I actually like left everything here,
So at that point, you're getting like any kind of, let's say, financial support, or we were just part of like a program which guided you to how to develop the product?
Yeah, we were part of the program. We got some financial backing, so basically money for food and accommodation. Yeah, but it helped us, kickstart the company, and kind of gave us a little bit of space so we can like dedicate to this idea like fully. So we went to Romania, and then we kind of started everything there. The Planable brand, the first MVP that we had, and first customers, and
So you already got the first customers while you were in the program?
yeah, not actually the first customers, the first users, like the customers part was a lot later, like I think 2 years later we got our first customers, but we got to talk to like real users, like potential users. So we knew the problem, because me and Xenia and Vlad, my co-founders, we worked in this industry. We knew the problem intimately, but we were not sure if like other companies or people experience the same issues.
Like who's gonna buy this product?
Yeah, who's gonna buy if like it has. So we had a great intuition that this is a problem. Like that's not just about how we work or like how people work in Moldova with this, but it's actually a global kind of thing. And then we started validating, like we started reaching out to agencies in Romania, and like customers from outside, as well. And we started validating our
when you
our
see
solution.
Like a lot of people actually need this.
Yeah, we started launching it in like many places. Like there was a website, and still is, a beta list, where you launched your idea, MVP, whatever you have, and kind of get this initial feedback and traction, like real users trying out your product and giving you feedback. They usually do it for free. I mean, you don't have to pay for it.
So you like launch a product and people just test
just the people that are usually early adopters.
Interesting.
So we got some feedback from there, like random people from all across the world, that they're kind of interested in this or like experience this problem. And so basically we got this initial traction, and then the journey was quite fun in the beginning.
About the journey, like I am so damn curious about one thing only. I mean, this question is gonna probably sound a bit weird, but it's a question that's in the young mind of everyone who wants to become an entrepreneur, especially from Moldova. How do you get funding being from, let's say, a banana country like Moldova? It's because like, how do you get investors? How do you do you just give up and go abroad? Do you try to do it from here? Like, what's the strategy? If, let's say, what was the strategy at the time, and how would you do it now if you were to do it, like go back in time and try it again?
Well, back then when we started, we were new to this. We were like very young, and we didn't have experience in this, like how to get funding for a startup. So everything we did was kind of new to us at that point, and we didn't have any experience whatsoever. So, but how we got our first funding is through this accelerator in Romania. So we got our first investment, and that actually helped us, survive for a little bit until next investment or until the next stage in the company. And we don't have too many investors in Moldova that are willing. Maybe now there's more opportunities for, like, if you want to start a company in Moldova, like startup in Moldova, there's some opportunities.
Yeah, but when I say investment, I mean more like not survival for the next 5
Yeah,
to 6
like
months.
VC.
I mean like actual investment. Is it VC only?
There's no VCs in Moldova much.
Yeah,
There's
I'm not
only
aware of, yeah.
like angel networks,
And even if they
yeah.
were, like, why would they come here when they hear a bunch of bad news about the country? You know?
You don't get funding from here. But if you're building a global startup, you should go abroad. I mean, if you're building a company that serves customers from US or Europe.
If I'm a young Moldovan
Yeah.
living in the country, I see something happening around me. I'm like, I want to start a startup. The probably fastest path would be try to go Romania and then see what else is happening in Europe.
Yeah, you can try from Romania, where you just can go worldwide. I have friends now like looking for funding for their startup, and you go to funds from Europe. There's various funds from Europe, VC funds. Also, you can go to US directly if you can do that.
Yeah.
It's a bit more harder. You have to have a presence there. You have to go to Silicon Valley, and for that you already have to have some connections or cash or something. But yeah, you should go abroad if you're building a global product.
So in that, because you mentioned VC,
Yeah.
like, is venture capital the necessary evil for startups? Is it the best way to get funding? And the other question would be, what are the hidden terms most startups would get? Because the terms are not like super pinky, because every single time you hear like, this startup received this much funding, and people almost immediately jump into conclusion like, oh, the funders are like swimming in cash and whatnot. Is that the case actually? And what are the risks, and what's the actual terms?
Yeah, so this is very debatable, and it probably depends on like the nature of the business, of like what kind of uh product or company you want to build, the market. It all depends, and what kind of like goals you have with the company. If you want to build, just a company, like sort of like lifestyle business, you are just passionate about something and you want to dedicate your life to it, and you just want to live a happy life, uh you can go without funding and you can build it on your own. It takes a lot more time, and
Yeah.
you might enjoy the process and stuff. You can scale it as well, with like in a long time frame. And that's totally fine. That's usually what bootstrap companies do. At some point, you might stagnate your revenue. You might reach a point and you don't have more resources or capacity to grow.
That's
And
like
that's
a
fine.
loan. That's like a loan. Like, you could buy this building now with a loan,
Yeah.
or you could buy it later when it's a lot more expensive. Maybe, I don't know. Like the timing of the money matters, and the amount of it, I guess.
But then, yes, and if you're in a market or your idea is tied to the current market kind of setup, and if you're building, for example, an AI company now, and on some specific technology that's just getting trained in right now, you need to scale fast. So you need to take this idea and go fast and kind of rip this opportunity. Otherwise someone else will do that and you'll just fall behind. So if you want to move fast, you have to go the VC route. If you want to scale
What are
the
the
company
terms?
fast.
And is there any negotiation?
For VC
like
investments?
Like, you go in and the guy says, I'm investing this much, you give me this much, or you say immediately okay, or you say no, fuck that, let's lower the percentage. And
Yeah,
like, how does it work?
It all depends. It depends on like what kind of traction you already have.
Yeah.
If you have some traction, like you already have some customers, you have some proven track record, then you might negotiate this. Otherwise, if it's just an idea, the deal is usually, like, I don't know.
So you're saying it's a shittier deal if you go immediately VC versus, let's say, if you do a little bit of, let's say, some years, let's say for some years you like spend your own money.
Yeah.
You test the product, the idea and whatnot. The risk is obviously higher
Yeah.
because you're investing your own money. But then, as you mentioned, the traction is also higher because now
Yeah.
you have something which you can balance against.
Yeah. You have a lot more leverage if you have some traction or some proven track record. For example, I don't know, like something that already works. That gives you a lot more leverage as a founder. When you meet investors, and yeah. Otherwise, just we look at you.
Yeah, because then your position is okay. I have something that works. I just need some money to survive to the next stage.
Yeah.
Whereas you come to them and you just say, "I have nothing, but I
Yeah,
want this."
exactly.
They're like, it's kind of risky,
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, it depends on the context and marketing idea you're developing.
Did you spend your money?
Not really. So I didn't have much money back then.
Yeah.
I was just graduating university. So I didn't have any like stashed money or.
Was
And
you the only developer at the time?
when we started, yes, I was the only technical and product person in the team. So I built the first MVP. Like.
Regarding the MVP, I'm curious, like how important is to land really fast on the market, and let's say land this idea of MVP, and how did you cut corners? Did you say
Yeah.
cut this feature, cut that feature, just so we land as fast as possible?
Yeah. Yeah. So since we started, I had more of a product mindset rather than technical.
Yeah.
So while doing the MVP, I was like focused on, okay, let's have a great, but basic product. We did cut corners. We had a lot of technical debt, but we had actually we're still fixing it to this day, right? But for us at that point, it was critical to have a product fast, so to have something to show, even though it was not built perfectly. A lot of things had to be written and rethought at some point later.
Was it for Facebook only or something else?
At the beginning,
Yeah.
yeah, we only integrated with Facebook, and then we added more platforms later. But we nailed a couple of things well since the beginning, like the user experience. Some parts of the experience were great at that point in time. Since Planable was designed to be a collaboration tool, so the experience was real time. So, for example, you add a comment or change something in the app, and everything was synced automatically.
Yeah.
Now it's like just a basic thing, but like 10 years ago, this was kind of a novel experience. So this kind of things we kind of nailed from start. And yeah, but the product was very basic. There was a lot of hacks that we used back then to make this kind of work.
was it more like focused on collaboration back in the day, or
Yeah.
more like platform features and whatnot, like integration with Facebook?
It was more collaboration. Back then we were comparing also ourselves with Trello. It was the same kind of experience where we collaborate on like projects or something,
Yeah.
but in Planable you collaborate on content, like social content, and the same kind of experience, like easy and real time. And yeah, we integrated only Facebook at the beginning, but then we slowly added more platforms like Instagram, Twitter, like all of them.
Do you regret going on the market sooner rather than later? Maybe perfecting some things which didn't work exactly the same?
I don't regret, and I actually recommend going as fast as possible to the market and kind of get early feedback, because not everything, like you might have some great ideas or hypotheses and stuff, but you have to test them with the real world as fast as possible. So like a lot of things. Even when we started developing the product, we had like a lot of ideas. Okay, so we want to build this and that, and we've built like some features that we've developed at the beginning. We've like put a lot of effort in them, and then when we launch them,
You realized nobody needs them?
yeah, nobody needs them. But some other features that we haven't put a lot of thought into, we just did it quickly, had like great traction. So like you always have to balance your effort and ideas and everything with the market and the actual users.
What's the best way to test what people want before you even spend the time and effort to do it?
Yeah, just talking to users. Although not all of them will tell you exactly like what their pains are. So
And
you
depends
have
who tells
to,
you. Like,
yeah, yeah,
is it a small fish, a big fish?
yeah, exactly. But like it really depends. But not all of users are actually mindful what they need. So they might tell you that they struggle with something, but they don't know actually the solution. So it's up to you kind of to have this intuition, gut feeling. Okay, so this user wants this, and I might solve it in a different way rather than maybe.
Yeah, it's like the Steve Jobs type
Yeah,
of way.
exactly.
Like, on the one hand, users don't know really what they want, and you kind of need to instruct them what the experience should be. But on the other hand, you need to listen to them because they're your users,
Yeah,
customers who are
yeah,
paying you.
yeah. So
Yeah.
this is very like true, and it's like this in real life as well. Um, Yeah, so you talk to users. In the beginning, we did a lot of like mockups. Like even before developing Planable, like more like in more advanced version, we made the design. Like I was using Sketch back then. Like now it's Figma, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
did the Sketch designs, and then we made them kind of interactive as well. So we went to potential customers and show like, what do you think about this, like and getting early feedback without developing the product. uh, but in time, it was becoming cheaper and cheaper just to build something in the product itself and hide it under some feature flags or something, and just show it to the product
Yeah, yeah.
the client directly, and get this feedback. uh, yeah.
On the more on the idea of landing quickly on the market, like nowadays you have a lot of developers with like
Hmm.
interesting ideas. How important is to have the mindset of a product more rather than the mindset of a developer? Because a lot of the times, as you mentioned, we tend to think technically, and we tend to think something is needed when it's actually not needed.
Yeah.
You're spending the time in the wrong place. And like, how important is it to actually maybe sacrifice a little bit on your technical perfection and whatnot, and maybe focus more on the product if you really want to launch something?
Yeah, I mean, in a startup you have to be product oriented. Like being I mean, depends on the kind of the industry and the kind of product you're building, but for us it's critical to focus on the product. The technology is kind of secondary. So mm, people don't really care. I mean, we're not building here like rockets or something that needs deep expertise or something. It's just a SaaS product, it's just an interface, it's a crude application in the
Yeah,
end, like
yeah.
so. Yeah, you don't need, like, the value doesn't come from the technical kind of prowess, or like something that you developed and brings value. But in our case, in Planable's case, the value comes from the user experience and the product and the features. So as for us, it was critical to focus on this, nailing the user experience, and the interface and all of that. And yeah, that's what we focused a lot.
How much time did it take you to launch the MVP?
For me, I was the only
Yeah,
engineer kind
yeah,
of
yeah.
the product at the beginning. It took me about like 2 or 3 months,
Oh, that's
and
pretty
we in
fast.
2 months we actually had a working product that we actually demoed on stage in Romania. So we had this kind of conference and we had a startup competition, and we actually demoed the product live on stage. That was
Yeah,
insane.
that's ballsy.
Yeah, and it worked. It didn't took me too much.
I'm curious, like, are the young, let's say, entrepreneurs or future entrepreneurs in a privileged position with the fact that they have LLMs? And I'm curious, would have you taken way less time if you had, let's say, the LLMs you have nowadays back in the day?
For sure, for sure.
Yeah, especially
Uh,
as you said, you were focused on the product development.
yeah, yeah. So back then, for me, everything was new. Like I did everything for the first time,
Yeah.
and I had this learning curve, with the frameworks and all of that. I had this like vision in mind of how to build the product, but I didn't necessarily have the technical expertise. So I had to learn a lot of things fast, like how to build interfaces, like state management, all of that, quite fast. And like if I would do it now, it would be a lot easier because I probably wouldn't even have to think about this, like the LLMs would generate this for me. Or like, especially in this like phase when you're just getting started and you have to figure out a lot of things fast. That would be a lot easier for me.
And you
now.
don't have the expertise in all the fields.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't have to, and probably don't even have time to learn all of that.
Yeah, I mean, 2-3 months is like quite fast for an MVP if you ask any. If you ask even like a team of developers, I'd say.
Yeah. But then if you're focused on the product, like you have this vision, like what do you want to build? You find ways. Even back then, like 10 years ago, you find the most suitable frameworks, the path of least resistance, while building this, yeah, it's doable.
I'm curious, what was the tech stack at the time?
Meteor framework.
Oh, yeah. Remember that.
That's kind of legacy right now, but when we started, it was really hot. Did
you move to React or something?
Yeah, we moved to React, but Meteor is like this full stack framework. So we moved the UI part to React. We've rewritten all the components to React at some point. It was a couple of like many years ago.
Yeah.
But then we still use Meteor to this day. It's legacy. We're still rewriting parts of it.
Yeah, but that's part of history,
yeah.
The little thing you remember.
And it's still kind of alive. The framework is still alive. There's a community, small, but there's still
been such a while since I heard about it, because nowadays everyone's like Angular, React, Vue, whatever.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of framework. For me, at that point in time, it was really a good finding. Like I've discovered Meteor and made me really productive because it had all these pieces already wired together. So I didn't have to build authentication. I didn't care too much about the database. Like everything was built into the framework.
Yeah,
and that helped me a lot. The MVP and the further product development. And if it wasn't for Meteor, I'm not like if we started like 2 years earlier or 3 years earlier, it would have been a lot harder for me. I think that's what I was.
Yeah, because you have all of the stuff baked in. It's easy to be productive.
Yeah.
Then you can figure out like we have a problem. Let's fix it. Maybe optimize
and the framework was really hot back then, and had like a huge community, like a lot of people doing stuff with it.
Was it Backbone also back in the day?
Backbone is even older.
Yeah. Because I remember like some old dinosaurs and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like the stuff that came out just right after jQuery, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I was using jQuery. I remember those times, like when trying to.
Yeah. People don't even know. Like everybody is doing React, single page apps, server.
Yeah, the industry changed a lot.
Yeah. We went basically from like PHP back to PHP.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. You could tell. Yeah. So yeah, you mentioned the solo dev on the project. How long was it that?
That was for about 2 years until we hired our first engineer in the team. And,
was it from Moldova? Because I've read some.
Yeah, it was from Moldova. So we went for this, accelerators and this journey of like finding investors, first customers and stuff. But then we got some investment and we started to scale the product and the business.
Right.
And there was insane pressure on me to develop the product, to add more features and expand and all of that. And we were like, okay, we need to scale the team. I mean, I can't do this alone, for too long.
Yeah, at some point you need to delegate, otherwise.
Yeah, so we hired Nico, the other Nico, like in our team. It was, I don't know, like 8 years ago or something like that, and he's still in the team right now. Our first engineer. And I knew him from the university, so we are in the same kind of from BAST as well. And we're kind of like I had this network, from the university and the student organization. We actually hired our first engineers from this network.
I'm curious, for how long, like if I'm an entrepreneur, want to become one, for how long should I expect no clients, no profits, just constant grit, basically?
I recommend you to validate the product and get clients as fast as possible.
Right.
I've seen a lot of founders and friends, that tried things and they kind of persevered for a long time, but then in the end they closed the project and they've lost a lot of time and stuff. I recommend not going for this for a long time. I mean, just figure out if you have product market fit, if your idea or startup, if you can sell it as fast as possible. So basically, even without the product, or if you can, like, do it like this validation phase, do it as fast as possible. Don't waste your time. For us, it took a long time. We're inexperienced.
Yeah.
And luckily, it worked in the end. But I know many people that, I'm aware of the survivorship bias, when I'm telling about Planable like story.
As somebody said, like the good part about really good marketing is you can fail really fast.
Yeah.
So like I've heard like even stories that some people before they even launch like an idea, they just like buy some ads on Facebook. And they just ask people if they would love to use something like that. And
there's so many ways nowadays to validate your idea. Before doing too much investment, and even like back then, building a product was expensive. Takes a lot of time, resources. Engineers.
Even validation, I would say, wasn't that easy. Because nowadays you can just fucking shove ads down everybody's throat.
Yeah. Validation is easier. You have all these channels, but you have to do it quick. Just don't waste your time. I wish we did it faster.
Because that's like really fascinating. Because a lot of the times I personally get blocked in like details. I'm like, I should just go back. I should just ask my users what do they want, and then identify the problem.
That's actually hard. When you're an engineer, like you care about the product, the craft, and you're always unsatisfied.
At some point, you need to swallow your tongue a little bit.
Yeah. You have to do this. You're gonna cringe about your product. That's totally fine. What matters if you have this positive signal, from potential users and clients. And if they like it, like they see, how it helps them, then it's all good. You're gonna figure it out. You're gonna figure out the product and everything.
Speaking of clients, like how do you, as somebody who wants to build a product, how do you identify your fish? Do you focus on like the big fish, the small fish? How do you identify your ocean? Do you ignore everybody else? Like, how does it work? Because when it comes to your product, you might have like solo, let's call them, I don't know, influencers and whatnot. You might have agencies, you might have small to medium companies and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like, how do you prioritize?
I mean, you have to think about your audience from the beginning. Like, who are you building for? You have to define this persona. Like, who are they? Like, what kind of people? What do they struggle with? Like, what age are they? Like, everything, then you start looking, for this kind of people. And it depends, like, you can build for different audiences. Like, we've chosen for Planable, we've chosen to build for agencies. Those are our expertise, and we knew this kind of companies or clients like intimately. We know what they struggle with. We knew this industry, so it was kind of obvious for us to go for this kind of customers. We got other types of customers or like clients, in the meantime. But that's fine, but you have to focus on specific target audience.
What's like the percentage of big/small clients nowadays?
For Planable? There's a huge chunk of kind of small businesses, SMBs, we call them. And they're not our ideal customers, but we still there's a lot of them, and they get some value out of Planable.
Because like with every product, you have like the biggest fish, which like don't complain about anything, and then you have like the noisiest clients, which don't even pay you that much at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's true. These small customers, they're pretty loud. They ask for many like things that your ideal customers don't care about. And we had this problem. So it's a matter of like how you position yourself, how you position the product. You can ignore these customers entirely. You can actually make it so they don't reach your product. Like, you can make the product more expensive, and then they don't buy the product. They don't become your customers. So then you kind of filter them out like through the process. Yeah.
like you mentioned pricing, and I'm just curious, like how often do you change prices, and what's the strategy around changing it? Do you add, like how often do you like add a new tier and whatnot to support maybe like a broader audience? Is that the case, or you just find your niche, focus on that, and don't care about the rest?
Yeah, at some point more recently for Planable, we started doing a lot of experiments for pricing. For a long time, we had just one pricing model, and we kept it for years. But then we realized we can just make more money by changing the way we price our product, and not just increasing the price, but like the way we package it, the way we make it scalable. And we started doing these experiments, and nowadays we do a lot of experiments on pricing. So we constantly iterate on the pricing. We change the packaging. We've tried different pricing strategies.
Yeah.
I think most of them, but we could. And we've seen like impactful like results from this. Like we actually increased revenue just by changing a bit, how we structured the pricing, and that's insane. Like you can make like 20% more revenue just by changing the pricing, kind of.
Yeah, like if you hold some kind of monopoly around the market, then if you increase the price, most likely you're going to keep most customers, but at the same
Yeah,
time increase revenue, at the same time piss off some
yeah,
noisy neighbors.
but I think also what that happens is that you're developing the product. It provides more value in time.
True,
You
true.
build more features. The product is more stable, provides more value. So you have to kind of keep up with the pricing as well. You can't.
Yeah, also there's costs like
There, there's
maintenance.
there's
Yeah, yeah,
costs, of
yeah.
course. That's a tiny amount, but like you provide more value. So like the customer should pay more. I mean, it also depends on your competitors. You want the pricing to be competitive. You don't want to make your product too expensive. So you have to look at many kind of variables. So yeah.
What's that feature in Planable which just skyrocketed the sales and the clients? Because I would assume like you had a relatively long period where you either like flattened more or less the same amount of revenue slash customers, and then it just spiked out.
Yeah, I mean, for Planable, we've kind of grew all the time. It didn't have many like maybe just a few months or like not at all when we didn't grow the revenue. So we've constantly grew our revenue. We had periods when we grew a bit faster or a bit slower, but we always grew. So um, I'm not sure if we have like some inflection points, like when we launched something, um as we gradually developed the product, and every bit kind of helped, um but a couple of them, like for example, we've launched analytics in our product. We kind of refrained from building analytics in Planable. We are
Yep.
focused on collaboration planning and stuff like that. And even though our customers were asking for analytics, we were like, no, we're gonna we have our own kind of
Roadmap.
vision and roadmap. We're not gonna do this. At some point we kind of gave in, like, okay, we're gonna build analytics because we're actually losing clients on deals because of it, because we didn't have analytics when we started building it. And then I think this helped a lot for us to bring bigger bigger customers, customers that were looking for all-in-one solutions for social media. So
Right.
not just planning the content and working with the team, but also all-in-one, like you can analyze your performance and all of this, like create reports. And I think this all actually helped, but it was a lot of effort to bring analytics implantable. So
Yeah. Does churn and turnover force innovation?
it does. Uh, um, but Planable, we're quite like sensible and receptive to feedback. Like we look at like we have this feedback loops inside Planable, so we always look at like reasons customers churn.
Yeah.
And we always try to prioritize. Okay, so it seems like this is a problem in the product, or is a common theme among
Do you have like feature feedback type of thing where like
yeah.
you like this feature or you don't
Yeah,
like it?
we did have a public roadmap. We closed it recently.
Yeah.
It's it's a legacy kind of thing, but well, we did have this, and customers were empowered to vote and stuff like that. But what we do is we talk with clients directly. We have a sales team and a product team, and we regularly talk to the customers and get their feedback. So we're aware of like what they actually need and what's the reason for churn. Yeah, it's
So
super critical to have.
how many
this.
platforms do you support at the moment?
I think about 9 or 10. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, all of the most important ones. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was wondering because it must be a really big pain in the ass when it comes to platform updates.
Yeah.
Like, what's the most challenging thing about like, let's say, supporting platforms which you've already integrated with?
Yeah, it's definitely an overhead, and we have to spend some effort. Like I'm not sure how much, like I don't know, 10% of our time to support these platforms. They keep evolving, like they add more features. There's API disruptions. Like even today we had like Facebook deprecated some endpoints, and we had to so now we have to fetch that data in a different way, and this overhead is constant.
Do you have to disable features because something
Yeah,
doesn't work anymore?
we did. Like historically, we had to disable a lot of features because of the API, restrictions or changes and whatnot.
Do they give you like let's say big
Timeline?
enough grace period to adapt,
They
or they
do.
just fucking break it? And
They do. Sometimes they just do it quickly. Sometimes they do give you some break. It also depends on the platform.
yeah.
When so the biggest disruption was like kind of an inflection point. If you remember Cambridge Analytica scandal with Meta and Facebook back then.
Yeah.
And the platforms, and especially Facebook and Instagram, became a lot more strict with their data, and they closed a lot of endpoints. We haven't been affected too much because Planable is doing mostly the publishing part, but for industry this was like very bad because there's the stuff that you can build on top of Facebook now is very limited to the actual functionality available in Facebook.
True, because not everything is public API, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And that's kind of a problem because, our clients, agencies or like marketers, they need all the kind of the features and the functionalities the platform provide.
Yeah.
And they couldn't do this in Planable. And then, this is kind of bad, for third parties like us.
I'm curious, since you mentioned API, I'm curious, do you run into the situation where you had to reverse engineer some API from Facebook? Like you go into the fucking console and see what requests they're making to try
we actually did this. It's crazy, but we did this for Instagram. So they started closing these APIs, and we were looking for some creative ways of getting some data that we actually need. And we like it was some time ago. Like we found an endpoint that was not public, but gave us some information about Instagram accounts. And it was not official. It was not documented anywhere, but we kind of found it. And we were using it, for some time to fetch data. And then one day we got actually a cease and desist from Meta. All our integrations are official, and we have like a partnership with all these platforms. We don't do sketchy stuff, shady, scrapping or anything. We have this official integration of them, but we were using this endpoint that was kind of sketchy, and they found out, that we were using them, and they sent us a letter, please stop doing this and erase all the data and stuff like that. Otherwise, we ban Planable and all this. You close your account.
Were you hitting like their rate limiter and whatnot?
We had issues with that as well. But then at that point we were like, okay, we stopped doing this. We just follow the rules. Never mess, with this, like platforms, you depend on them and you build your business on top of it.
You have to respect some kind of platform specific policy before you post something.
Yeah, of course. And like more recently, this became even more stricter in a way. So you have to go for a process of like approval. You have to show them you have like your good security, policies, and they do a sort of audit on you before giving you permission to use their API. So it's really
so it's like publishing to an app store basically,
but a lot more thorough. like for Meta
Oh, really?
especially. Yeah. They check if you have like, I don't know, if you're compliant with this, if you have this security practices in house, if
So they check your
you
internal data, like how you store data in the database, or
your policies.
I see.
They
I
don't
see.
actually look, but you have to provide information of how you do it in like a very thorough manner. You know, like
Does
they,
it take
they
long to get approved to use their API?
nowadays it's harder. It doesn't take too much if you're already using it and you have, but I think if you're just getting started, it's a lot harder now, especially for Meta. You know, for other platforms it might be a bit easier.
Do they flag you and like punish you if you, let's say, use their API, but to break, like to publish content that breaks their community guidelines and whatnot?
Not for that, but if you're using the APIs, so for each endpoint they have like allowed use cases.
Oh.
So there's a list, you know, like you can use this for this kind of use case and stuff like that. And if they find that you're using it for different purposes, you know, they just ban your app. So you have to be
Interesting.
compliant all the time, you know, with this. So,
Do you censor content?
no, we don't do that, and we actually don't have problem with this because we're not kind of, you know, uh moderating kind of content that people publish to
Yeah,
Facebook
because
for
I
all
would imagine you
platforms.
have to have like a separate whole
Yeah,
team
yeah,
of
we
like
don't have resources for that.
fact checkers and shit.
Yeah, but you know, Meta is doing this on their end, so they have all these systems in place, you know, the resources to kind of filter out content and kind of find out, you know,
But what
malicious
would
content.
be an example of like using an endpoint not in the intended way? Because you have like request body, response, fuck off.
You know, like you know, the classical Cambridge Analytica case, like you can use the endpoints to just scrape data about users, and you store them and sell them later to some other third parties.
But can't you do that? Like I don't
Well,
know.
we can do that, but
Like
then we'd be liable.
yeah, like have some kind of machines which scrape it, but like in a smart way, like slowly, as if a human would do it.
You can do that, but then you sign that you don't do that, and
Oh,
then
I
they
see.
can sue you if
So it's
you.
like an NDA or something.
Yeah. I mean, they have all the data about the companies and the person responsible and everything. You know, it's
Yeah,
like
technically you have your API key linked
you,
with you,
you
so
you can do that. I mean, you can abuse the system if you want to. I mean, if you, but then you kind of
yeah,
deal
you
with the
risk.
consequences.
Yeah, you basically risk your whole product.
Yeah, risk your whole product, and you can be actually have a lawsuit and stuff like that. So it's the shit is real, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
With the data nowadays
It's
that you
more
get.
it's
Yeah,
more shit than I thought it is actually.
but also you can't really scrape a lot of data. So you have this kind of rate limit. So that is also that scales with your customer base or if your user base, like basically the amount of users that give access to their accounts to your app. So you can't do too much. So if you're just getting started and you don't have a user base of you like people that give you access to their accounts,
Yeah.
you can't scrape too much. Just very little. So they kind of thought this from different perspectives, so you don't get too much data.
Yeah, so they
it's
need
just
to like
this.
grant access to
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
You mentioned rate limiting, and I have like some because I did check the product a little bit on the website, like the pricing plans and whatnot, and like there's limitation of number of posts per month, except for like one plan, I believe. And I was wondering, does it have to do with pricing, the pricing model, or more like with the API rate limiting from various platforms?
It doesn't have to do much with API rate limiting. It's sort of a limit that we introduced to kind of nudge people to upgrade from one plan to another.
Yeah.
But also we did this to prevent. So we had a lot of, not a lot, but a couple of customers that were spamming, a lot of content to the platforms.
Yeah.
And some of it was legit, some of it was kind of sketchy, like just spamming to TikTok and stuff like that. And this caused us some problems, not necessarily with the rate limit itself, but you had to spend like a lot of resources on like servers, and we pay AWS to transcode our videos and stuff like that. So in the end, were like discovered that we lose more money than we make from this subscription. And then we're okay, we need to limit the amount of posts. We shouldn't give, for a long time we had this, you can post.
So is it like for any kind of post or more like video post?
No, like we introduce limits for all kind of posts, just to have this way of limiting this kind of users, but also upselling.
Does your compute scale with the amount of posts that are happening? Are you like, because I'm wondering like how do you, because I would assume you don't do it immediately. You have some kind of batch which at some point does it. Of course, if you want to publish it immediately, you probably do, but if you schedule it, then you must.
Yeah, so we have all this infrastructure, and the most expensive kind of part of it is videos. So we have to transcode the videos, optimize them. This is the more expensive.
You don't upload directly?
We don't upload directly because our users upload different formats of videos, and some of them are not compatible for API. For example, we can't send them to Facebook like just as the user uploads it.
Right.
And it might be in a different format, or the aspect ratio or something like that might be not according to the requirements. So we do some optimizations under the hood, so we make this easier. Otherwise we have to force users to give us the right kind of specs.
You have like GPU servers?
No, we don't. We use AWS for everything. We don't bother with this.
yeah. Because I was wondering if it's like on a big scale, maybe you plan on not doing it in the cloud because it might be too expensive.
Yeah. For us, for now, it's scalable. We use AWS, and it's expensive, but it's manageable. Not all the users upload like tons of videos. It's sometimes, yeah.
Has the AWS fall now Cloudflare affected you?
It did. Our landing page mostly yesterday was not working, so everyone was freaking out in the marketing team, especially. But it's just something that happens usually sometimes.
It's not like you're like the big, I don't know, crypto exchange and whatnot.
Yeah, we had some disruption, but it wasn't. I mean, the product was still working. So for product, we didn't use the proxy servers from Cloudflare, so it was fine. But the marketing side was affected. Had some downtime and stuff, but it's okay. I mean, if everyone suffers, it's good. I mean, it's good. I mean, like, there's no blame.
Yeah. So you said you support 9 platforms. I'm wondering which one of them is the shittiest to support. Like, I don't know, breaks the most often. Is it Facebook?
Facebook is definitely the most painful one. Because it's the most complex one and is the oldest kind of API. They have like a lot of features, and because of the Cambridge Analytica, they started messing with the API a lot and limiting and introducing all kinds of rules. Definitely the most headaches goes into this. Before that, the kind of the other like platform that we had the bad experience with was LinkedIn. It was purely documented.
You support LinkedIn as well?
Yeah, of course.
Interesting.
LinkedIn is popular nowadays.
Yeah, no, I mean, everybody's successful and entrepreneur and whatnot on LinkedIn, and they're looking for a job.
Brands also, like, it depends on your business, but like you can get some good results from LinkedIn.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, LinkedIn was shittier before. Now with Microsoft is a bit better. So yeah. But all of them, are wildly different experiences. So like different companies with different approach strategy to their API.
Yeah, because there's not many Planables out there. Mm-hmm. And when they build their API, they kind of rely that there's some, I don't know, web page which integrates with that. Not like but on that scale as you do.
When they build these APIs, they don't think about all the possible integrations. They want to focus on something specifically to make it possible via API, so they can have this partnership. For example, TikTok is developing their API, and it pushes a lot on the ads, API and stuff like that, because we want to have this partnerships with third parties that are optimizing TikTok ads and stuff like that. Yeah, and then if it's in their interest, the API is great. True. If it's just something, just purely for integrations, or like sometimes we don't invest too much, and they have like issues that they don't solve for a long time, and you just have to adapt to this.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, either they build it for themselves or they build it for some client.
Yeah,
and then
it depends on what kind of incentives they have. Like a long time ago, like Facebook had a great API. It could do so much stuff with the API, but the incentive back then for them was for Facebook to be integrated everywhere. Have Facebook login, you know, Facebook here, Facebook apps, games, whatever, just everything with Facebook. So they had this strategy and they developed this API. So when we started Planable, the API was great. You could do so much stuff with it. You have all the data, could do like interesting things like discovering, what your friends like and patterns among your friends and stuff like that. And this is not possible anymore.
I'm just curious, when there's like a new regulation venting out in Europe, do you like go, oh shit, here comes another, I don't know, data regulation type of shit, and we have to like adjust?
Sometimes, yeah, sometimes we do, but it usually happens when there's some, I don't know, leak or scandal, like Cambridge Analytica.
Yeah.
Then shit follows.
Yeah, because it's going more and more towards that direction. Like everybody wants like privacy and whatnot.
The thing is that data is gold and it's becoming more valuable, especially with LLMs right now. And all of these platforms, that have data, about users and behaviors and preferences, they build this walled garden. They don't just give this data, or they sell it super expensive, like they put a high price on it. For example, Twitter, we had this issue with Twitter, so they kind of we almost closed the API. So basically what we did is that
was it after Musk or before?
After Musk, when he took over Twitter, and probably he realized that a lot of LLMs are training on Twitter or kind of
he
data.
also fired a bunch of engineers too, so.
Yeah. But what happened is they made the API insanely expensive. And as a third party, if you want to scrape data now and you have this like a lot of volume, then you have to pay like the minimal price was like 40K per month.
Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Do you also have to pay for other APIs, or are they free?
No, most of the APIs are free.
Do you pay for certain quotas?
But for Twitter, we pay something. Not much right now because we don't have too many users using Twitter. But we had to close a lot of functionality because of this.
Yeah, I wasn't aware. I knew about the Twitter Blue thing, which I bought myself, but I wasn't aware
the
the
API they limited, like it's insane. Like, and all the kind of third parties, the apps that were built, TweetDeck there was, and some other that were built on the Twitter API, they had to close because the API became insanely expensive. And some of our competitors, they choose to pay this amount of money, and it's insane. Like 40K per month, that's the minimum. It's
that's a lot of money. Like you could pay for your entire infrastructure.
Yeah. So it's crazy. So data is becoming gold, and it's hard to get nowadays. Or you have to go through many hoops. With Meta, for example, have to get many approvals and stuff.
Yeah. I'm curious, what's the cost you eat, but then like don't include it in the package that you sell
for the platforms?
Yeah, for the platform, because I would assume like there's variable costs.
Well, we don't pay for much for the APIs. Just for Twitter, we pay something. But the APIs are free. The cost is the overhead, like engineering overhead, that we have to support this APIs and disruptions and everything.
Yeah.
But the cost is not the APIs itself for now. I mean, it might change in the future. I don't know.
Yeah. How do you choose what to support next? Is it I don't know,
based on the customer request,
virality and whatnot?
Yeah, it's based on the customer requests. If we get requests like for like additional platforms, we might consider adding them. For example, now when this Twitter changes happened, other platforms became popular, like Blue Sky.
Yeah, I was wondering if you wanted to support that.
Yeah, so we got customer requests for Blue Sky, but then it kind of died down a bit, and nobody's asking any like very few customers ask for Blue Sky anymore. So we didn't jump on building it straight away. I was like, okay, let's see if this is still settling. If people actually start using Blue Sky instead of Twitter,
Because I heard like a bunch of angry leftists like went to Blue Sky and then they came back to Twitter.
So we decided not to build this, and it's still good that we didn't waste the resources for it.
Did you jump on the, what is it, or at least took it into consideration, the Threads hype train?
Oh, Threads we build. Yeah, Threads has.
So you're supporting Threads at the moment.
Yeah, we do have Threads support. Threads is good because it's tied to Instagram and it has traction. It's still not the most popular in Planable, platform that's being connected. But we do have like Threads. We actually integrated fairly quick in Planable.
What's one mistake the OG team made when they started their thing called Planable?
What's the biggest mistake?
You would say a mistake which maybe would have accelerated the process a lot faster.
Well, we did a lot of mistakes in the beginning. We're inexperienced. For us, building a company, building a product, it was all new, so we did a lot of mistakes. With the product, with the validation, it took us a long time. I'm not sure if there was a highlight like the biggest mistake, but from what I recall, maybe at the beginning we focused still, like even though we're product oriented, we still focused a lot on the details. We could have moved. Yeah, not technical, like the product details.
Product details.
So I was sweating the user experience a lot back then. I remember so we had this approval button built in the product, and I remember I was playing with like animations, like CSS animations, and when you click it, like it sparkles or something like that.
Yeah.
So I was doing that instead of like building some other critical things to the product.
Classical developer thing.
Yeah. Not just for the technical kind of
way to procrastinate.
But it's an experiment, but also like I was very passionate about it. So.
What would you say is a mistake that kills startups?
Mistake that kills startups?
Because most of them die in like a year or so.
Yeah, I've seen many startups die because they have only like technical founders and stuff like that. You have to have a good mix of founders or talent in the team. I had many friends that they started their companies. They're great engineers, good ideas, but they didn't have someone in the team to sell it or make a business out of it. And this is what I've seen like killed a lot of startups.
Does having a non-technical person sometimes slap you in the face and bring you back to reality?
Not having not having
if you have them next to you, sometimes they like slap you like, hey, fuck that, we don't need it, we should build this.
Sometimes yeah. It happens.
Because I would say I need a lot of that myself, and like as you mentioned, I'm focusing on what's not important.
Yeah, you have to have someone more like business oriented in the team, or try to be yourself more business oriented as much as possible. So like kind of aligning your efforts with what actually users need.
Yeah, that's strong, because I mean, every single time I had an idea, a lot of the times it died in my head. But then you try to do it, you stumble across of a lot of like technical barriers, barrages and whatnot, and you're like, fuck it, I'm not gonna do it. It's you just do the math, you calculate it, and no, not today,
Yeah. So get a co-founder. If you're technical, get a co-founder.
Does it help with, let's say, motivation?
Yes. I mean, it's really demotivating to build something that nobody needs. Or like you're building the wrong thing, even if you enjoy the process. So having this validation from users, or having like users using it or like paying for it, it's a whole different game.
I'm curious, at some point, or I guess everybody goes through that, like, was there a point where you were like, am I like, is this thing gonna blow up? Are we doing the right thing? Maybe I should focus on something else.
We had many times when we thought about this, especially in the beginning, when we we're not sure if we have product market fit, if like people would pay for Planable, if this could scale. The beginning, like first 3 years, there was a lot of doubt.
Yeah, yeah.
It was very harsh, there's a lot of uncertainty, but we did have this gut feeling, that this is gonna work, there's something in it, and then it proved to be true.
Yeah, you're insane until you.
Yeah, until it started
And then you're
working.
lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. How important is like discipline compared to motivation? Because you don't always have motivation, but discipline is what stays, what sticks.
I would say not discipline, but consistency.
True.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have to be consistent. You have to stick to the plan, kind of. Even though you have this days when it's like really dark, we had this kind of days when like there were no customers, or when your biggest customers is churning, and they have some feedback about the product is unstable or something like that. It's like it it kills your kind of mood and
Yeah,
motivation, and you're asking yourself, what the fuck are we doing here? Why why is it happening? And but you have to be consistent. You have to learn from like the experience and the lessons, and try to be a bit better the next day.
Yeah. It's
uh,
it's like you pay rent every day. You wake up, pay rent again. It's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, but then in time it compounds. So all these lessons, all these learnings that you gather, they compound. In time you get smarter, you start doing things better, and then it works.
yeah, you step on less mines and
Yeah.
whatnot. Yeah. Yeah, there's so much to learn here.
Yep.
I'm wondering, when it comes to like dealing with social medias, like what's the dark side? What's the place you don't wish anyone to go to and visit?
The dark side of social media.
Yeah, like the dark side of what you're doing when integrating with them.
There's no dark side. Like the API problem is not a problem, but social media in general, yeah, there's a lot of debate around it, especially with TikToks and the new generation, this comparison of like social media of slot machines. So basically the feed is kind of a slot machine that everyone is like every day, like,
Yeah, do you feel like we're more connected as it claims?
through social media?
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I mean, for me, yeah, you can use social media in various ways. You can just, scroll mindlessly, watch TikTok all day, or like how I'm using it. Like, for example, I use Twitter a lot to just keep myself up to date with everything that's happening. And, I try to get the value out of it, right? Not just mindless scrolling or fun videos. And
I mean, I used to use Twitter for like the same thing when it comes to news and stuff, but at some point it's just a lot of it. Like Twitter slowly went into like what LinkedIn is now, a bunch of engagement bait, a bunch of stupid statements which are supposed to engage you in that.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But if you optimize the algorithm for your like preferences, it's actually a gold mine. So you have to disengage of this kind of content that's obviously a clickbait or like rage bait or whatever, or videos, and just follow people. And the algorithm actually lately got a lot better for Twitter. They used to have this problem of poor quality content and stuff, but now it's a lot better. So I get a lot of insights from Twitter and the kind of the things that I care about, and it usually comes like there's a lot of tech people on Twitter, so like I'm interested in startups, companies.
Yeah.
They share a lot, just random, like engineers own companies, different companies, founders, early stage companies, or like different people from the industry, and they share their experience, their thoughts, and on stuff. That's really valuable for me. Otherwise, I like, if you go on LinkedIn, you're like, how do you find them? Do you connect with them?
No,
Like,
LinkedIn is it's
yeah,
a bit weird.
yeah,
Like if you like a techie tech bro, whatever.
Yeah. So where
Twitter's-
do you find this kind of people? Like, and Twitter, I think is great for that.
Twitter or GitHub? I don't
I've
know,
been
follow-
using Twitter like since 2009, and you know, it had its ups and downs, you know, but I think it's great.
yeah.
So I get a lot of value. So it depends how you use the social media. You can use it in your advantage. You can use it, you know, just to
Yeah, interesting.
to waste your time, you know.
Yeah, do you like, because you mentioned you don't do moderation, but do you have like, I don't know, some kind of community guideline for your customers?
No, we don't. There's a lot of content, so we don't have the resources to go for this. But we did find malicious, you know, users abusing, posting. You know, we had porn.
I wanted to ask about that because, like, at least when it comes to like Facebook ads, you'd be surprised what kind of shit they allow.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's kind of not our problem. In the end, it goes to Facebook, and they have all the tools and the means to kind of curate the content.
Yeah,
we don't have the.
You're in the best
But
position.
we don't have to do this. According to the terms, we're not kind of directly responsible for what our users want to post on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, true.
So,
true.
So yeah, we don't bother with this too much. I'm pretty sure it's a headache for the platforms themselves, you know. But
Yeah. Do you have competitors?
we do. It's a really crowded market, and especially nowadays when you can build a SaaS very easy. Every other, you know, indie hacker is building a social media scheduling tool for some reason. So we do have a lot of competition in this very crowded market. So yeah, there's like big companies, even like public companies.
Do you have like strategies on crushing your competition?
Of course.
Stealing from them, maybe?
Yeah. Stealing?
I mean, let's call it stealing.
Yeah, we do. Sometimes we of course we look at our competition. We have some companies kind of doing the same kind of. We have the same target audience, the same kind of product. We have different strategy of dealing with them. For example, I don't know, we focus a lot more on the user experience and stuff, and that kind of differentiates us, you know.
Did you have like clients that told you like, I can do this on that platform, but yours can't, or whatever?
Yeah. We had these customers like that, or we had like customers coming from our products, but you know, the client said that they had a shitty experience, you know, that, and you know, buggy and you know, slow and whatever, and they came to us and like much better. So
yeah, I've read somewhere, like I think it was like a review or something, that your customer support is really good.
Yeah,
like how important is for a service these days to have good customers, because you have a bunch of good services out there, but when something breaks, you cannot find anyone.
Yeah.
And you're just frustrated and you feel like you've spent money, nobody's responding, versus just you as a user being able to vent your shit to some company which you're paying money to. At least you feel like you're heard, even though they're not fixing anything for you.
Yeah, I think this is critical. Like the customer, the relationship you have with the customer. And we did a lot of things for like at Planable, and it's like up to today, we try to be as close to customers as possible by any means. For example, a couple of years ago, I used to do customer support. So I was basically replying to customers every day. You know, I was talking to them for all the support channels myself, you know, as a founder, you know.
Yeah.
That felt great for the customers because they saw the founders of the company, they talk with the boss basically directly, and they can address the issues much faster and, you know, have this great experience. And that was great, and that builds trust, you know.
It does. It's not like you're talking to, like, you know, the time when you're like calling the bank.
Yeah.
And you're not calling because you love them. You're calling out of like huge frustration.
Exactly.
And then somebody replies, we can't fucking decide anything, and they just keep redirecting you.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Frustrating. At least they respond, but there's like really good services out there, like banking services, online services, which like are super remote, which for other means you would have to go through like to a country to solve some business problems where you can do it offline. But when they don't work, they don't respond, that's like so frustrating. And you're like, and on the contrary, when you have like really good customer support, you feel like even though the product is maybe not the best in terms of features, bugs, and whatever,
it makes
it adds up a lot.
It really helps with retention of users as well. But also, it also gives you a lot of insight from the user, so you know what to prioritize next. So at Planable, we've also made a lot of things, like installed, for example, a session recording tool, so we see how users are using the product and what kind of issues they have. So when they reach out to us, we already know everything about them. Like we already know what kind of problem they have, like what they did, and we don't ask many questions.
So do you record like the mouse movement or whatever?
Mouse movement, everything. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that helps us. So our customer support is really efficient. So when I was doing customer support, when people would just write hello to us, I already know what kind of issue they have and why are they writing. So that really helps, not have this back and forth. And
no, that's like huge, I would say, because you don't see that a lot. I mean, there's like heat maps and whatnot, but more like for like analyzing your traffic, how the customer interacts and whatnot. That's like basic like customer analysis shit. But the way you describe it is like advanced stuff, because I haven't seen that in many places.
This has been like a superpower for us, like for customer support, for product. It just helps a lot. It's just being closer and kind of seeing the problems and everything they experience up close. I can like watch a session recording and you realize, well, this user is confused. He's looking for this, but he can't find it in the app.
It also helps you like maybe design a better user experience.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you hide some, like a lot of like my frustration, especially with social media companies, is sometimes, and they fucking are doing it like in a sleek way. They sometimes hide something on purpose so that you cannot find it. Like if you, I don't know, want to change some settings, or if you want to, especially if you want to delete their platform. That's going to be hard to find.
That's on purpose.
yeah. I recently heard you've been acquired.
Yes.
What's your feeling? What's it like to be acquired? Is it like a relief? You now pass on the baton, the flag to somebody else. You focus on something else. Like, what's it like?
Man, I mean, there's a lot of feelings involved into this. Like for me, Planable was kind of like my child, my baby, that I've been raising for 10 years.
Yeah.
And then this is a major event, that happens. And, it's very mixed feelings about this. Like on the one side, you're like super happy, this is the work of your life and, just sold it, or, there's, this was always the end goal, like when we started Planable, selling the company was always the end goal. We haven't planned, because we had investors and stuff. We never planned to do this forever, So this was always the goal, but still you get super attached to the company, the people and the environment and your position in the company and all of this. Especially if the company is successful and you've built actually the dream company, it's really tough, moments when you go through this,
Yeah, was it a hard
so
choice?
it's very mixed feelings. On the one hand, you're like super happy, but then you have this like, it's kind of an end of an era, and you're like, oh shit, what I'm gonna do with my life now,
Yeah, because I was
you have this also how do you call it, identity crisis.
True. Like, because you've been like the one-man army initially, and then you started like leading the vision and whatnot.
And it's been a long time, There's
you're saying the exit has always been part of the plan.
Yeah, I mean that's for every startup. I mean, either you exit, either you IPO, you go public.
Yeah.
No, you can continue doing this entire life, but then it's a lifestyle business, and if you have investors, you just don't go this right. You try to sell the company.
Yeah,
sooner
there's
or
a
later.
saying that at some point every business dies. When do you see Planable dying? At what point? Is it a mistake? Is it a new product coming?
Yeah, Planable dying? No,
Yeah.
it's not dying. It's part of the new company. So
Yeah, is it
I,
is it like, because
Planable, is a standalone thing. Um, well, I mean, with this acquisition is kind of getting integrated in a bigger vision and product. So there's the old Planable is kind of dying slowly, but
do you have
it's
any
morphing into something bigger. Right now.
do you have any new startup ideas? Shall we see like a new Planable 2.0 slash new innovative idea?
I'm not yet sure I want to build another company in this industry.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I have a lot of ideas though. But I wouldn't build a Planable 2.0 or anything like this.
What would you say are, let's say, I don't know, top 5 industries people should consider exploring? Because uh, a lot of people out there are motivated by financials, right? They
Hmm.
don't care what the industry they're involved in, as long as they're impactful, they're solving a business problem, and then they can claim leadership in that area.
Hmm.
So what would you say is something to explore in 2025 with the fact that we have LLMs? You can be more business oriented, you can prototype a lot faster, a
Hmm.
lot easier and
Hmm.
whatnot. Like, is there something you're looking into, maybe something you'd recommend people?
I'd recommend people focus on solving problems that they're intimately familiar with.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter. I mean, if you're, I don't know, working in whatever, like trucking industry, or like working in, I don't know, you're a marketer or you're a salesman, just do something that you are experienced and passionate about with tech.
Yeah, yeah.
It doesn't like, because you have this AI nowadays, you can use this AI to solve uh, current problems or problems in your industry with AI and build a product out of it or a different experience. So yeah, I wouldn't recommend like a particular industry, just the one you're most familiar with. And for example, if you're an engineer, I mean, you can build tools for our engineers with AI.
I mean,
Okay, you build a cursor.
there's like hot topics now, like every now and then there's like hot topics. Now it's hot to build a bunch of AI solutions, a
Yeah,
bunch
yeah,
of
yeah. Definitely, I
like,
would recommend
yeah, yeah,
leveraging AI
or
nowadays.
AI solutions, or like security oriented solutions about around specifically like data privacy, data security, that
Yeah,
type
it
of shit.
depends on your expertise, but definitely using AI. So
Yeah,
AI
yeah.
is the game right now. So
Does, because I asked this the other guest, does every product need AI? Should every product just shove AI down their throat and say, we use AI.ai or whatever, like our product.ai, just because they added the AI label? Now they
yeah,
are more, let's say, marketable,
yeah,
more appealing to the customer and whatnot.
yeah. This happens a lot, and a lot of companies do it in a very kind of lazy way. They just slap AI on it, and that's all, and
Yeah,
just
yeah.
market it or sell it. Uh, the smarter way to do this is to kind of infuse AI, but somehow more thoughtful into the product, and try to solve some some gaps that you have in the product or experiences you have in the product, but enhance them with AI. And I've seen like products doing this great. I mean, like uh, making like their current features a lot better with AI. For example, like I don't know if you for example, I like one example I have, we're using Linear for project management currently. It's a competitor to Jira,
Yeah.
and they integrated like really smoothly AI into their product. They overall are a good like company that focuses a lot on the user experience and design. But the way they did integrate AI, we're not talking about linear AI or anything. They did the small things in the app. For example, for issues where you have like a lot of discussion, but they add a small summary on top, like with summary about the
I
discussion on
think I've
these
seen this
issues.
on Jira as well. Like, this
Yeah,
person is talking about, I'm like, what the fuck? Like I can read the comments myself because
yeah,
there's
I
not.
don't know, but
Yeah.
this is also like great if you don't want like if you're coming from outside and you just want to, you don't want to read all the comments. If it's a long discussion, you want to see what's the conclusion, what's
You know
the
what
next
my
step.
immediate reaction is? Like, I'm still gonna fucking look into the comments. Like, my immediate reaction is, I
Yeah.
don't trust it. I need to check.
But then how they solved it is that they give you this bullet points, like the summary, and then they made this underlined
Like reference?
reference, and if you hover on it, it gives you like what exact phrase this person used for this. And, it's like pieces like this. Like you infuse AI bit by bit into the experience itself, but you just don't just slap AI in without like being more thoughtful about like what do you actually want to improve.
As somebody like more on the fundraising, as somebody was making a joke like, I accidentally misspelled API and I wrote AI. And he got funding way more than he was planning to.
Yeah, I mean, this happens a lot and everyone is doing AI nowadays, but it's also a thing. I mean,
what's some AI feature you're proud of? Because I've seen you've integrated some AI into Planable.
We did integrate AI into Planable in the early days when like OpenAI just released their API.
Mm-hmm.
That was in 2000, like I don't know, 23. Just a couple of months after the API was released, and you had this kind of thing that you could use. So we've integrated this into the product so you can rewrite your content, optimize your content with AI, because it's very suitable for content. So
yeah, after all, you're spending a lot of time in inputting and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you're writing content, and the AI is good for like rewriting, improving tone of voice, and stuff like that. So we did this in the product, or generating content based on different ideas, market, and stuff. So we've integrated this, but at some point we stopped. I mean, we just added those functionalities, and then we stopped. And we've seen actually a decline in usage of AI features in Planable because people started doing this more in ChatGPT or
yeah, I'm like, I'll be all the way honest, I'm doing the same thing myself. I'm like, before I publish everything everywhere, I'm like crafting it myself, then ask AI to like slightly do it, and then I'm correcting it afterwards anyway because I don't like it. And that's how I'm pretty much doing it. And as you said, I'm doing it externally. I never do the text itself in like the Facebook form or whatever I'm trying to post it. I have the final version. I just copy paste it everywhere, and that's it. Having it like integrated in the product is a good addition.
It helps, but the tools are evolving, so you have to keep up with this. So AI is becoming a commodity nowadays.
Yeah, you also don't like need to sleep on like trends and whatnot. Like not all trends are bad, even though I'm super against trends. As you said, you have to like integrate them, but infuse them in a smart and actually meaningful way. Otherwise, you're just trying to be trendy as everybody else. Since we opened the Pandora box, we've been talking for so long, everything but AI, for which I'm very happy because nowadays, if like the moment somebody says AI this, AI that, I'm like, no, close this. I want to focus on something. Like I want genuine connection with people, and then talk about AI and what they think about it. And since we opened the Pandora box on AI, do you think people are becoming dumber due to their excessive use of LLMs, maybe outsourcing their critical thinking skills and whatnot?
There's a lot of debate about this, and I've read this a lot lately. Like a lot of people started outsourcing the thinking part of it, not just I don't know, give me ideas or something, but actually the thinking part. So people started asking ChatGPT, what should they do, what, like they don't know how to judge, so they ask ChatGPT.
They don't say, hey, give me options, I'll choose. They say, give me options, and then it gives you options, and like, what's the best option? And like, okay.
I'm not sure how this is gonna go in the future, but if you outsource the thinking part, like the most important thing that you're doing to the LLMs, that's kind of critical. I don't know.
Like you're pretty old when it comes to like the programming aspect, right? You've seen the things come and go, progression and whatnot. And I'm not sure if it occurs to you as it is to me and to many others. There's like a huge disconnect. Like you could almost see how the newer generation of like engineers think and do things.
Yeah,
Do you see like
I
a
can see it.
disconnect?
Yeah, even in my team, like I can see that. Like we have engineers from the newer generation. They do things differently. So so yeah. In the end, I mean, the trend is like there's more abstraction. So I mean, there's a new abstraction layer, so you don't have to know how things intimately work under the hood. So you can just work from the top layer, like kind of guide your system and how you want it to work rather than just going all the time under the hood and trying to figure out, like all
True,
the
like there's routine stuff. Like I agree with routine. Like
yeah.
I don't like routine, any kind of routine. The
But the
moment,
thinking part, yeah.
yeah, the thinking part, prototyping,
Mhm.
translation, I
it,
love
it,
that.
it still might help you, but you still have to like preserve your judgment when you do things.
Yeah, like even like sometimes I'm happy with not necessarily the best judgment as long as it's my
Mhm.
judgment.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll let's say consult myself with all possible options and solutions
Yeah.
before I take that judgment. But at the end of the day, it's at least an educated decision. It's not
Yeah.
something I trust blindly without checking. Without like, I'll be all the way honest. Like when it comes to development, even some people don't even like fucking compile their code. They like, and sometimes they even leave like they copy paste the exact, like ChatGPT sometimes like gives you like comments
Yeah.
as a way of explaining like here's what I did and
Mhm.
here's why I did it. They just leave those comments. They don't even like.
Yeah. I mean, it depends what you're trying to do, but yeah, I see many positive changes with AI, and maybe I have some concerns like where is this going to? Uh, but yeah, overall, I think depends on how you're using AI. I think like for me overall, it's a huge net positive. Like there's so many things you can do now with AI that weren't possible before. So you were wasting a lot of time doing them.
True,
The
true.
research, the having this quick information accessible without going to like
Same
hundreds of
place.
sites and in the same place. This is like a superpower. um but also like I've read a tweet recently from Andrei Karpathy. I don't know if you know about him. This is a big name in the AI industry, and he says like how he reads book nowadays. So the first thing, like the first stage of reading a book for him, like his process of reading books. So he reads it, the book, himself. Like he reads it. This is the stage number one. The stage number two, he uses LLMs basically to summarize the book or the part with LLMs, and he reads the summaries.
Yeah.
And the third stage, he uses LLMs for Q&A with the book itself. So basically, if you still have some questions and like
It's
you're
like having a discussion with the author, but through the
yeah.
context of the book.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So this is fucking brilliant, uh
And that's a
and
huge
this is
context too.
yeah, and this is just possible right now. I mean, you couldn't do this before. So like, before you read the book and you kind of have to figure out everything yourself. But now you can have a summary. You can kind of talk to the book if you want to. Like it's a next level experience, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And this
It's
is just one use case. I mean, you can
yeah, like a lot of people I guess have the problem with the context,
yeah.
but there are ways around enriching the context, making it more
Mhm.
tailored to your persona, to
E-
yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And also when, for example, for books, there's a lot of context that kind of they're sitting somewhere there, and there's some references in the books about some person, or I don't know, like some story, and the LLM already has this wider context in it, so you can ask things. You don't have to.
No, it's a really, I would say, powerful tool. I love everything about what it is, and maybe a little bit more skeptical about what it will be or will become, as some people say, like it will replace this many people or this many jobs in the next a year and a half or whatever. Not as optimistic about that. What's your opinion on like the future of AI? I don't know, AI taking jobs left and right, and
Yeah, I'm reading about this a lot. This is a very hot topic right now.
Like if you open LinkedIn, I guarantee you 1 out of 10 posts will tell you about how you will fucking lose your job due to AI.
No, I mean it's a thing. I mean there's no how do you call it in Romanian? Fum.
Yeah. There's no smoke without.
Yeah, there's no
There's
smoke.
no fire without smoke.
There's no fire without smoke. I mean, it's happening already, and you can see it in the market. There's layoffs happening. The companies don't hire that much anymore.
But are they natural layoffs though? Is my question, because I would argue not all of them are natural layoffs, and by natural I mean like you've come to a more difficult financial situation as a company. You have to make some tough decisions, let some staff go. You've, let's say, analyzed your progression, and you see that at some point you'll have to let people go, and you just adjust as you go.
Yeah, it usually, like from what I've seen, it doesn't happen for like economical reasons. It's just that possibly some process in the company became easier, or like,
Or it's just easier to replace more expensive people with less expensive people, I guess.
I think it's down to efficiency. So the team somehow became more efficient with AI or without AI, probably with AI. And then you don't need that many people to run the company, and then you do layoffs.
Are you of the opinion that you can do more with less people, or you can do more with the same people?
I'm not a fan of bloated teams and organizations.
Yeah.
I've seen there's a lot of problems of like efficiency, innovation and stuff in the big companies happen because of the bloat and the complexity of the organization. And the smaller teams usually manage to innovate more and be more agile in the market and stuff like that, because there's not so many dependencies to manage. The more people you have in the team, the more managers you need, the more process, the more time wasted for.
Look at Telegram. How many engineers they got in total?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So like I'm a fan of like small and lean organizations, and with Planable we tried to keep it that way as well, as much as possible. Of course, there you reach a point when you can't really do much more without more people. So you still need people, but you have to be mindful about their individual productivity. Are these people that we hire the most? They have the best, most suitable process and the tools for to be the most productive version of themselves or not.
Yeah.
So you don't add more people if current team is not the most productive as it is. So yeah, with Planable we try to keep the team as productive as possible. We didn't scale it that much, but we still have we had till the acquisition 40 people on board.
What's one bureaucracy complaint or something you've seen in other companies do which drastically slows down teams, and you go from like a lean team which is autonomous, takes their own decisions, is super fast, delivering fast, and is somewhat enjoying life, to a team which everything is a blocker. You need to ask permissions, you need to go higher layers above you to actually get some shit done?
Yeah, I think complex kind of team structures, and with many layers of approval, that kills productivity and innovation and whatever in the company, and it slows down the company a lot. You have to give your people ownership. Like you have to align everybody, like this is our mission, this is where we want to go and what we want to achieve as a company. And then you just give people ownership and authority, like you handle this. I hired you, we think you're the best person, you just do it.
Yeah, you obviously
And then
don't.
and then people have ownership. They don't have to approve everything with the boss or anything. They feel a lot more empowered and things happen faster.
You more the let's say the more the Facebook type of company, faster deliveries with some potential fuck ups, or more like the Google type of company?
Definitely. We try to be as agile as possible. We deploy, like for Planable, we deploy like, I don't know, 10, 20 times per day. Like there's constantly a deployment going on.
That's a lot. That's
like
a lot.
Everything that's kind of ready, it just goes straight to production. We start to get feedback, basically.
Yeah, it's obviously more ownership, more.
Yeah, so people feel free if they think like something is ready or they're confident enough, they just do it.
But also, if you design, I guess, your process, your pipelines in such a way that it allows you to iterate easy and fast,
yeah.
then you can at some point go back. Like, it's
This
not a big deal.
is, yeah, you have like you have to set up your workflow so you have this very short feedback loops. So if
Yeah.
anything breaks, you find out immediately. You don't have to wait for a long time. There's people responsible and stuff like that. So yeah, shorten your feedback loops basically.
Do you have often cases where you find about issues from users rather than from automation / developers?
Yeah, we try to have systems and processes in place where we find issues ourselves, not from customers. I will always tell my team that if a customer is reporting an issue, it's already too late. The damage is done.
Yeah.
So we try to have like system in place. We have like Sentry, like LogRocket for session recording, the tool I was mentioning, and we try to find issues ahead of time. When they happen, not with some delay, because also customers, they don't usually write. They might experience an issue, but they don't know how to explain it.
Refresh page.
No, but also it's a hassle, to talk to someone. They need to really care to
It's the
report
same
an issue.
here. I'm like, I need to write this shit,
Yeah.
formulate it in
So
a
a
way
lot
that...
of users experience problems, frustrations of the product, disruptions. They don't even tell you. So it's your job to actually be aware of all the issues that are happening in the product.
Yeah. Do you, I guess, at some point, did you start taking software quality a little bit more serious?
Yeah, we did. Yeah, so
because it has to do like you need to have like, I don't know, tests in place.
yeah, we did. Yeah, at some point we started to having more and more bugs. Then we decided, okay, we need a QA person, and then we need a QA team, and we need CI/CD, and we built all of that in time. And like right now we even have like KPIs for quality. We check regression rate. Like we look at how many changes we deployed to production, how many regressions we have, and then we look at this ratio. So we want to keep it as low as possible, and yeah, this kind of helps keep the quality of the product, because we do a lot of changes. I mean, we deploy everything.
It only is natural with the more changes you add, if you don't have any kind of...
So we want to preserve the quality as much as possible, and kind of be confident with all the changes we make.
What's the right time to focus on the software quality? Like, I would like, when you start a startup, obviously you want to land as quickly as possible, land clients and money, but I guess at some point you start to see that you can't really progress much. You can't move ahead too fast without making a lot of mistakes.
Yeah. I mean, as soon as you start having customers and having the increasing customer base, you have to invest more and more in quality. Like for us, quality is important because it affects our, churn, retention rates, and we are really focusing on that. So we want to have happy customers that stay with us a lot, and we're happy and they buy more add-ons, or like they scale their usage, they bring more revenue, they'll tell their friends about Planable, and they also become customers. So like we focus a lot on retention, and having good retention is also about quality. So you have to preserve the quality as much as possible, or increase the quality of their product. We've been investing a lot in this, and this is also what kind of makes Planable great comparing to our competitors. Yeah, but yeah, it's costly as well. It also adds a lot of overhead for engineers. So
I mean, if you ask me as an engineer, I would say I'm only happy. Like every single time I hear we are having less technical debt, we improve on software quality, testing, docs, and like overall quality, I am more than happy to do that. Like that's a plus for me. At least that's a sign in my book. Yeah. We touched a little bit on the job market, layoffs and whatnot. How do you see juniors handling the current situation? Are they doomed? Do you even hire juniors? Like, let's take Planable, for example.
Yeah, we used to hire juniors, and I had this before, like a couple of years ago. I had this kind of mindset that we need to grow juniors inside the company. It's easier to model them or somehow, with the company values and, like what
Yeah.
company cares about, and this mindset, of like being product oriented instead of just uh, thinking like a developer. And but lately we've actually dialed down our hiring, and I'm not sure we want to hire juniors actually at Planable. Um, yeah, so I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm concerned about the juniors, and especially the fresh graduates from the technical university,
Yeah.
what their future looks like. I don't know. I know something has to happen. Um, but
What
the thing
if?
is that nowadays, like with all these tools available, you can do junior tasks. The things that you would usually give to a junior with AI,
Yeah.
and that's a
Yeah.
thing. That's a thing.
Yeah. A lot of
I
people say
mean,
that.
I can give the same task to an AI agent, and he'll do it kind of like a junior, because you still need to supervise him, like the work and check and stuff like that. It's the same job that you would do with a junior. So I don't know.
Let me put it maybe this way. Let's imagine you
Mhm,
from today and you back then when you were a student are two people that
mhm.
exist at the same time in the same world. What would be your advice from you, the experienced guy, to you, the student who's studying right now when we have LLMs, a bunch of automation, people talking left and right that you're going to be replaced, that AI
Yeah,
can do junior tasks? Like, what would be your advice to that person? Let's say he really wants to break through like the whole this IT industry, doing, I don't know, a bunch of product development. Maybe he wants to be also like a founder of a new
yeah.
product.
So I think the best advice I can give to the younger kind of generation, or if I would be in their place, is to become more generalist, not specialized, because knowledge is becoming more of a commodity right now. Like if you, I don't know, you're a good engineer, I don't know, or like, and I don't know, programming language or stuff. That's not that, unique or valuable right now. I mean, it's becoming less and less valuable because this job is replaced by LLMs. But if you're a generalist and you are like skilled in multiple areas and you know how to use LLMs to get deeper knowledge in something if you need to, then
Are you
you
saying
you
there's
have more chances to succeed basically, and then uh, you can start your own company. You're more valuable because your role might be more universal. You can like take many hats in the company like that's hiring you, and then I think your career and job is a lot more safe than just being just strictly specialized in something. So I think engineers or like anyone really nowadays that's graduating and looking for a career or a job, just be curious and learn about more things, and just don't only go into something specifically, because this is becoming knowledge is becoming a commodity.
yeah, that's a really
So
really good way to put it. Are you saying there's, let's say, skills that are more scarce slash valuable
it
than
used to be like this. It used to be.
almost anything? Let's say almost anything that is textual these days can be automated to the most part. So should you maybe focus, I don't know, on picking some secondary skills?
You still have to interact with the LLMs. So you still have to have like a good writing sense, like a way to structure your thoughts, and for you to be able to work with the AI efficiently, for example.
Yeah.
So you still have to have this basics, judgment, and the way you write and the way you express your thoughts and the way, yeah, and also the taste. You have to develop it. But then you don't need the specific knowledge if you want to solve a problem. So just being aware of like different things and being able to approach problems from different perspective, not just a narrow perspective, is I think is the way to go for the.
What would you say is, because I don't know, as people, we're like, we want to be, I don't know, to belong to some kind of more, let's say, unique slash rare type of club.
Mhm.
The same happened with like the tech industry, right?
Yeah.
Initially, when a few languages were available, like only a few people knew how to
Yeah.
code. They were like they were carried
Yeah.
on hands, and everybody treated them like the gods and
Yeah.
whatnot. Nowadays, as you mentioned, this is more accessible. So what would you say are the skills maybe we should focus more on? Is it more like, I don't know, sales, dealing with people, I don't know, in a better way,
Yeah,
maybe trying to
definitely.
get out of the comfort zone? Because a lot of like engineers especially are introverts. They don't develop a lot of secondary skills.
Yeah.
We pride ourselves in writing code, and that used to be the story basically.
Yeah. It used to be like this. Yeah, this changed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I also remember like many years ago, if you were like specialized in something, you had like a great future. Like you could like, if I learn this language and it's used by these companies, and like my future is kind of settled.
Especially if you get
I succeed, like because I possess this knowledge, I'm valuable, right? But now this is changing, and you have to embrace it. I mean, the knowledge that you have, the AI has a lot more knowledge than you, and about anything.
and it's only a matter of time before it starts doing manual labor.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like it's
So now the value is in how do you use AI, and the judgment and the taste, and the way you also communicate. There's more value in communication, and dealing with people, and having taste, having agency, and making things happen with these AI tools nowadays. So, so it's a shift in mindset.
yeah. Are you concerned about the future?
I'm on the optimistic kind of side of things. I see how AI is improving things, and how a lot of things get a lot easier, for business, or for daily life. So I'm optimistic about the future. There is definitely disruption, like a revolution going on right now. Like people compare it to the industrial revolution or other, like you know uh, points in our history when
Yeah.
uh, stuff changed a lot, or the internet revolutioners. And I think we're living through this AI revolution. Things are changing fast,
Yeah, we're in a
and we have
transition
to
period.
adapt, and people are confused, like what's going on, what's happening. So yeah, we'll have to adapt to this new reality, I think. So it's not, like when it started, I thought that this might be just a trend, this will fade away, this will hit a
Like the
point.
Web3 NFT type
Yeah,
of thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
We had some other like technical, like tech trends before, and they died down kind of. Even the metaverse and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You don't hear about it. But AI, it started. It also had this hype cycle, but then it sticks. It already started to have a profound.
Yeah, when you have the biggest players like Google, Apple, everybody's competing for like
Yeah, but
intelligence,
it's been
AI
some
and
time
whatnot.
already. Like ChatGPT started in 2023 or like 22, and it's been like 3 years.
Biggest amount of downloads in like the shortest period of
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's already happening. There's a lot of things that are done a lot more efficient with AI, especially like people that work with information and stuff, and so it's happening. So everyone has to adapt to this new reality of.
True.
It's you can't deny it. You can't bury your hand in sand and kind of just live through it. You have to do something.
Yeah.
And I think it's for the better of humanity.
I agree.
I
Yeah.
hope so, at least.
Yeah, I agree. Outside a lot of dedication, grit, work, and discipline, what do you do outside of work?
I don't have many hobbies, so my life was typically Planable. So like everything related to Planable and the company and the culture, and building this great company that I always wanted to work at, or like this. Um, so I was very dedicated to Planable. Right now, we're kind of in a transition period right now with the company that's bought Planable, but uh, yeah, I also have a child, so a child is my new focus right now.
Yeah,
So
that's beautiful.
yeah, so I'm trying to spend time and with my child a lot. Also like board games, so I'm into board games. This kind of a hobby or thing that started during the pandemics,
Yeah.
the lonely,
A lot of people say
because
that.
of the loneliness and stuff.
Yeah.
So I still play board games, and this is kind of a hobby, but not dedicating too much time yet, like right now to it. So yeah, but other than that, it's just Planable and just building companies, startups, tech in general. I'm passionate about
Absolute
this.
fucking grit, dedication. I must say I'm a huge fan, and I have a lot of respect for such people that build, stay focused, dedicated, 100% output, 0% noise.
It's been a very rewarding journey.
It's
I'm
impossible not to. Like you may not break through like for half a year, 2 years, whatever
Mhm.
it may be. You learn, you make mistakes and whatnot, but if you show up every day, it's impossible not to get results. That's what I believe in, I guess.
Yeah.
What gives your life purpose and meaning? What makes you wake up in the morning?
Wait, it's a good one. It's a good question. Philosophical, right? What makes me exciting and wakes me up in the morning is the sense of progress. Sense of progress. Like I live with the hope that, and kind of I see it happening, is that the world gets better every day. You know, there's progress in the world.
Yeah.
The things are not, stagnating or getting worse. They are getting better. Like I don't know, the economy is improving, or like the new technologies are making life easier for us. There's new possibilities. There's so many opportunities. So this is what makes me excited. Just living for this time. I think it's a great time to be alive. Right now.
Yeah.
Just and this kind of makes me excited every day. All this, cycles that we go through of innovation.
Do you have faith in humanity?
I do.
Yeah.
I hope. I mean, I have hope in humanity.
Like, are we gonna end up self-destructing or whatever?
It might happen. it might happen, but like,
Yeah.
what can you do, right?
That'll be like the final peak point. Yeah. Well, I know you're a busy man, and yeah, you gotta make things happen, make ends meet and whatnot. So I don't want to steal much more of your time. I want to end this discussion with asking something I ask everyone, which is, what's your final piece of advice for anyone who's watching, for anyone who is a builder, who has an idea, who, I don't know, who's thinking about progress, as you mentioned, about changing the world, making it better and whatnot?
I would say it's definitely possible, if you put your mind to it.
Yeah.
And you're passionate. Passion is what makes things happen. Just take something that you're passionate about. It can be anything, it doesn't matter. Like anything that you're passionate about, persist for some time and great things will happen. Just don't give up too easily on your dreams, your ideals. But also there's this saying, like, be the change you want to be in the world, or you want to see in the world. And this is fucking true. Like, if you see something that is missing, or it's very bad right now, or you see it, like you have this beautiful vision of how you want to make it better, just be the one doing this.
It's funny that
even though it's hard, just be the one, like, take on this challenge.
It's funny that you grow up, you have like idols, people that you see as visionaries and whatnot, and then at some point you become the person. At some point you are the one who is the visionary, the idol for somebody else. And it's like you just step into the shoes without even realizing, by just trying, tinkering.
That's how we started actually Planable. So we've seen this gap in the market where, like, we actually were looking for such a solution or like thing that would help us, and they've seen that there's lack of it. There's not anyone doing it. And then I was like, okay, why not build it ourselves? Like, let's try it.
Yeah.
To solve this ourselves. Then we built a great company out of it. And try to solve a real struggle, real pain, customer need. And, just be the change you want to see, and then you'll definitely succeed.
Yeah, without a doubt. Well, I'll say this. It's definitely been a pleasure to meet you and to have this discussion. It's so thoughtful, full of insights. I personally learned a lot of things. And it's been my absolute pleasure and honor to have you.
It's the same. Been a good talk.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, thank you once again. And I hope to see you again. Have a nice talk. Have another talk. Maybe, who knows, another startup idea and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, it's been a pleasure.
Right. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this was VUnstaged. Keep your mind open and your source unstaged.